Hi, I'm Emma, a plant stylist based in Adelaide, Australia. With a lot of us spending more time at home lately, it means we've got more time to care for your indoor plants. So today I'm going to run through a few tips and tricks on how you can care for these. You might be surprised that overwatering your plants is a more common killer than underwatering. And there's no general rule that you can apply as to how often you should water your indoor plants. Each plant will have different requirements. So the first thing is you want to check the soil. And a lot of plants come in a thing called peat moss. And this holds quite a lot of water. It's quite dense as well. So that is fine to keep your plants in that, but generally, as a rule, I like to pot my plants up in a potting mix. Potting mix has some sand and a few other things added to it. It's a bit lighter and it just drains a bit easier. So when you're checking the water levels of your plant, you can stick your finger in the soil about 5 centimetres down, and if it's still damp, it doesn't need a water. But if that's not for you, you can also try something like a moisture meter. And really you just want to stick this in the pot about halfway down. So this ficus is going off the scale, it's quite wet, that doesn't need a water. But then if you test something like the peace lily here, that's showing that it's quite dry. So anything in the red definitely need a water. To early green, that's when I would generally be watering it. So if your watering schedule is correct, if plants are in the right light conditions and everything else seems to be correct, but you're still having issues, it might mean that you've got a pest or disease problem. So if your apartment or home has limited airflow, this can make your plants a little bit more susceptible to some of these pests. And it's hard to know what to look out for. But one to start is scale, and that can be small raised bumps on the leaves of the plant, and they can range in size and colour from dark brown, and then they can also be like white as well. It's hard to see these, but if you let them spread, it'll just eventually, your plant will start to suffer. And the other one is woolly aphid and mealybug. And that could be small little brown bugs, but also like a cotton wool-like substance will appear on your plant. So you can buy products to treat these. There's a range of different products out there, like neem oil, eco oil, white oil, but you can also make your own white oil at home. So today I'm going to show you how to make white oil, and it's really simple. You just need a natural dishwashing liquid or a natural soap, and then you need an oil. So I've got vegetable oil here. You can use something like sunflower oil, rice bran oil, it doesn't really matter. And basically you just need a jar, a clean jar. You want to mix 1/4 cup of the dishwashing liquid with a cup of the oil. And then when you give this a good shake, the whole mixture should turn white. And that's a really concentrated form. So basically you want to mix a teaspoon of that with 1 litre of water. You can mix it in a spray bottle. And then you want to treat all of your affected plants. Spray it on the leaves. And then you just want to remove all of the pests. And you might need to do this a few times just to try and get rid of all of it. And also be careful not to use that same cloth if you're shining the leaves of your plants, which you can use this white oil for. You just don't want to spread the disease. And it's also a good idea to isolate that plant away from any of your other plants so the pests won't spread. So I've got an example here of a root-bound plant. So if your plant is root-bound, it definitely needs a repot. But some things that you can look out for, yellowing of the leaves, growth will slow down quite a lot. Even the pot will feel quite tight and you can see lots of roots on the top. But one key thing is if you can see roots coming out of the bottom of your pot, generally it will need a repot. So this umbrella plant, it's time to put him in a bigger pot. So when you're pulling something out of its pot, you kind of want to lay it on its side, loosen the pot. If it's really root bound, it might take a bit of muscle to get it out. And then you kind of just want to pull it out. And as you can see, there's a lot of tangled root mass, it's still kind of holding its same shape that it was in the pot. So you really got to get in there and kind of break this up. If you want, you can also use some secateurs or a knife, but basically you want to loosen the roots so that it can keep growing. And then once you've done that, you want to pick a pot that's maybe half a size as big as the last one it was in here, and then you can repot it. And it should be much happier. Propagating your plants is a great way to increase your plant collection, and it's also a fun thing to do to share with your friends and family. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can propagate your plants today. The first one is via stem cutting. And so we're going to use today devil's ivy, which I'm sure you'll be familiar with. It's a great indoor plant, and if you're new to the indoor plant game, I would recommend starting with a devil's ivy. So devil's ivy is really easy to propagate. Along the stem of the plant, you'll have nodes every 10 centimetres or so, and these are just raised bumps, and that's where leaves or roots will form. And you want to get a pair of clean, sharp secateurs or a sharp knife, and then between the node, so maybe 5 centimetres above or below, you want to make a sharp cut. And then you also want to remove maybe the top third of the plant's leaves. And then this is your new cutting. And then you can either leave this in water. So this is an example. I've had these cuttings in here for about a month or so. You can see new roots are forming. Now the plant will be quite happy to stay in that water for as long as you like. I would just recommend changing the water every 2 weeks. You can use a perlite, and that's just a sterile medium that is good for propagating plants and also holds quite a bit of water. Or you can just plant this straight into some potting mix and just give it a good water, and then roots should form within about a few weeks. So the second way I'm going to show you how to propagate your plants is by division. And so many plants produce several stems, and each of these stems has its own root system. So you can divide up the parent plant to give yourself double the amount of plants. So this one here is an umbrella plant, and as you can see, it's got 2 stems. And so when you're doing this, you basically want to slowly kind of squeeze the pot. You gently want to take it out of the pot without disturbing the roots too much. And then you should be able to, with your fingers, kind of just divide the root ball. There'll be a clear division of where there's 2 stems. And then you just want to separate. And that came apart quite well. The less you damage the root, the happier your plant will be. So once you've separated your plants, you can just repot them separately. And so now you've got 2 plants instead of 1. So separation can't be done with every plant, but if you've got a plant that's got multiple stems, then it's a great way to propagate.